Good morning, guys. So for internships, I've had interviews with 8 accounting firms, including 2 of the big 4 accounting firms, 1 asset and wealth management firm, and the largest mortgage banking firm in the country. And I've aced every single one of them. Today, I'm going to tell you how. First of all, this stuff is absolutely fantastic that I paired with these chips. I've cleared this thing out in about a day, but anyways, today I'm giving you my top 6 interview hacks that have allowed me to ace every single one of my interviews, meaning I've either moved on to the next interview round or gotten a written formal offer from it. So, let's get right to it. Number 1, wear a red tie. Red is the color of power and authority. It exudes confidence. There's a reason a lot of politicians wear red, because it makes them seem more worthy of what they're talking about or campaigning for. When you wear red and walk into a room, everyone notices because it's a bright color that's in your face, but in a good way. Wear a red tie to your interview and you'll appear more self-confident to the interviewer. Every interview I've had, I've worn the same thing. White shirt, red tie, black sport coat, black pants, black belt, black shoes, black watch. I suggest you do the same. Number 2, you need a special accessory. You should add something subtle to your outfit that makes you stand out from the crowd. A lot of these people get an interview dressed the same, so the person interviewing should remember you in some way visually. For example, my special accessory is this tie clip right here. This was my grandfather, so it's been in my family for a while. I wore this on my second interview, and the guy said it looked really cool. He complimented me on it, so ever since then I've worn it. Whether it be a cool watch, wristband, necklace, tie clip, whatever. Find a cool accessory that makes you visually stand out. Make sure the accessory is appropriate, obviously. You should be able to determine what's appropriate for an interview. Alright, so I like to eat out a lot. I think you guys figured that out by now. But, number 3, when you walk into the interview room, say to the interviewer, "Pleasure to meet you." Alright, walk into the room and say, "Pleasure to meet you." Don't say, "Nice to meet you." Don't tell him what your name is. Say, "Pleasure to meet you." What you're doing here is you're polishing him up a little bit. You're making him feel good. Alright, you're pretty much kissing up to him. By saying "pleasure to meet you," you're saying it's your pleasure to meet him. It's not his pleasure to meet you. In my opinion, this is just a really good tone to start the conversation on. I've done this in every interview I've had for all 10 companies that I mentioned at the beginning, and it's worked wonders. Alright, number 4, act like you're meeting your girlfriend's dad for the first time. Now, as corny as this sounds, believe me, it works. So, you know when you meet your girlfriend's dad for the first time, you have to win him over, right? You have to win him over and set a good first impression so he lets you date his daughter. The same thing applies in an interview. You have to win the interviewer over so that he's inclined to give you an offer back. So how do you get this done, whether you're meeting your girlfriend's dad or you're in an interview? When you walk into the room, give the interviewer a firm handshake, and the whole time make sure you're making good eye contact while you're speaking. It shows him respect and shows that you know what you're talking about, just like I'm giving you eye contact right now. So walk in there with a smile, give him a good handshake, and make good eye contact the whole interview. Win the guy over, make him give you an offer, just as if you would win over your girlfriend's dad. Believe me, treating an interview like this works. Number 5, you want to get them off topic. Alright, so you want to get them off topic when you're talking to them. In the first few minutes of the conversation, they're usually not going to start grilling you with questions. They're going to ask you stuff like, how you been, what do you like to do, what are your hobbies, stuff like that. In this time, you got to figure out what you have in common, if anything. If you see something in common, jump on that and change the conversation and steer it that way. For example, I once interviewed with a manager that was really into soccer and he played college soccer. So when I found that out, I steered the conversation that way and I started asking him a lot of questions about his career and his transition from college soccer to work and all that. And for the good about 15 to 20 minutes of the whole interview, 10 to 12 of those minutes we just talked about soccer. The point of an interview usually is that they just want to see that you can keep an adequate conversation with them for when you start facing clients. You just gotta know how to be able to talk. Their goal is to get you to talk as much as possible. So if you can get them to talk as much as possible, you'll be better off. Visible Man, 9 out of 10. Definitely recommend go see it. Because of the virus, not very many people in the theater with us, but that's alright. Alright, my last tip, number 6. That's how I've aced all my interviews. Every interview I've ended by asking the question to the interviewer, so where do we go from here? By asking this question to finish off the interview, you're showing high self-confidence that you just aced that interview and that you're expecting the next step to come. You're not asking, how did I do? Was I okay? Did I pass? You're saying, I know I passed because I prepared well. I know I'm good. I know I bring value to your company. What's the next step from here? How do we move forward? What comes next? This self-confidence is very attractive for when you do work for them and you start facing clients. You'll be able to talk well, close deals, make things happen. Everything goes along with that self-confidence. So finish off your interview with that question and it'll work. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Use these 6 interview hacks that have worked for me every time and you should see success just like I have. Remember to click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. See you next time.